Previously in this exploration of pleats. Pleats! I'm not trying this. Yes, of course I'll try this. We do the foldies, we do the pinnies. 3 and 5, magic numbers. I am starting to be in love with pleats. Away to the fabric closet we shall go. And now, time to make stuff. We're going to the fabric closet. Not everything fits in it right now. Ah! Oh, y'all, it's already a mess. After much measuring and going back and forth, because there's a lot of options when you're just making a skirt, I'm cutting myself off at 4 skirts with 4 different types of pleats. Here's what we got. This stripedy material I have a decent amount of. When I measured it out and did the math, it was like over 5 times my waist size. I have decided to do the military rolled pleats because those were my favorite, I think. This is a very light, thin fabric. It has this lovely lace around the bottom. So with this, I'm going to do overlapping or deep knife pleats. I think a lot of smaller pleats like that will give this a really fun, like drapey flowy feel since it's already a drapey flowy fabric. We'll see. This one here I got from Goodwill a long time ago, and it has this incredible embroidery around one side of it. I think it's a curtain. And I'd never known what to do with it because of that. I wanted to save it for something that would utilize the embroidery. It's only one curtain though, so it's actually not even 3 times my waist measurement. However, one thing that I didn't try out because I didn't see a point was any form of separation between the pleats. That's what I'm gonna do on this fabric since it's not actually big enough to accommodate even knife pleats or box pleats all touching each other. So I'm going to do inverted pleats on this one, and they are going to be inverted pleats because they will be separated from each other. There's the kicker. If you put them all next to each other, they turn into box pleats. But if you separate them from each other, they are inverted pleats. And finally, skirt number 4. This is like also a curtainy material. It's not a curtain, it's just a piece of fabric that I got, but it's that kind of really soft, very soft, I love the feeling of it, curtain material. I say it's curtain material because it has black threads woven into the middle, and in my experience, that's done on curtains so that you can't see through them. I've made a skirt from this style of material before, and it drove me absolutely nuts because it sheds like crazy. But I'm gonna do it again, woohoo! This is a weird shape, so it's hard to tell how much I have of it. My hope is to do wide box pleats, because this is like drapey, but still thick. So I think doing like maybe even 3 to 4 inch box pleats on it will give it like a really cool flow. That's the plan. I did want to give an honorable mention to this chunk of fabric, which I just got from Remainders. It's actually 8 pieces of fabric, each one 1 yard. I'm not gonna do this in this video because, again, I'm exercising self-control, but mayhap in an upcoming video, I would like to use all 8 yards of this to do a quadruple box pleated skirt. So keep an eye out for that in the future. Teasers. I think I'm gonna start with the box pleats. Onward! Actually, I'm gonna go eat lunch right now, but I'll come back and do it afterwards. Onward to food! Okay, I've lunched. Let's do some pleating. Can I get a waistband out of that? Oh, this fabric sucks. All right, apparently I can. Huzzah! 61 plus 93 is 154. That's almost 5 times my waist, which means I could turn this into a wrap skirt. Yeah. Okay, well, it's been about 2 hours of sewing in pockets and doing math and hemming, but I now have a long rectangle of skirt that should not be shedding threads everywhere. Should I have ironed this? So since I'm making this a wrap skirt, I have 3 sections. the back part and 2 front parts. The back needs to be 18 inches and the 2 front parts should each be 12 inches. The current measurements of the panels that are supposed to make that up do not correlate. Not at all. Huh. That's better than I thought. So all 3 of my sections are more than 3 times the length they need to be. Is that gonna be a problem at some point? Difficult to say. How big of a pleat do I want? I'm thinking like 3 inches. I think big and chunky would be fun. Y'all, I am so glad I practiced first. That was seriously helpful though. So there's my 2/3. It's coming to the center. So that is 1 box pleat. Don't be shy. Dude, the crows are back. Why does something feel sharp? Oh, I have multiple pins in my sweater. Danger zone, y'all. I know this is basic math, like duh, but I really enjoy the fact that no matter how big you make the pleats, your fabric will always become 3 times smaller. It's just fascinating to me. I get that it's a basic concept, but it's still really cool. Okay, I figured it out. In order to get it down to 12 inches in the front, I just have some really overlapping box pleat in the back where you can't see it. And then the back I am going to leave 19.5 inches and we should be good. All I gotta do is sew the waistband on, put on some little hooks on the end, and I should be good to go. I just realized I put all of my pins on the wrong side. Having now sewn 2 skirts with curtain material, I must say I don't recommend it. Unless, of course, you got them for super cheap. In which case, it's always worth it. Oop, see? I just snagged the whole end of it from dragging it over the teeth on the plate. Whoops! That is some of the neatest inside top stitching that I have ever done. It looks real nice. Good on ya, mate. Let's see how it looks. Cute. Love it. I think it is a little odd with the side seams because the pleats don't continue onto them, like they don't reset. So there's 6 inches here between the 2. So there should be 6 inches here, but because of how I was messing with the back, there's actually more like 7. But that's okay, we live and we learn. There is a difference in the shape. I think with the pleats, you get like a bell shape to the skirt, which is really cute, perfectly cute. I just, for some reason, prefer the like trumpet shape you get when you do a circle skirt. 1 almost down. I'll finish it in a minute. 3 more to go. Good morning. There's so many birds singing today. So last night after I finished skirt number 1, I started prepping skirt number 2, which is this embroidered one. I had enough fabric from it to do not only the front of the skirt, but also a lining for the skirt. So this whole thing is double layered because it was kind of thin and see-through. And then also to cut out pockets and a waistband. So golden. Because this is all one piece, I'm just gonna wrap it around and do a zipper in the back. And then there's no side seams to put pockets in, so I'm going to attempt welt pockets for the first time. Are those the best option for a pleated skirt? Probably not, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. And then I just thought, hey, real fast, I'll just try pleating this without doing any math or anything ahead of time. I'll just give it a go and see what happens. So I did 6-inch inverted pleats with 2 inches between each one, and it was perfect. It magically worked. Sometimes you just get lucky. So I'm gonna go put this together. Y'all, those were some of the easiest and most logical pockets I've ever created. I love them. Look at that. Like, that ain't bad for my first time. I'm gonna have to do welt pockets more often, apparently. But now it's time to see if I can actually pleat that back in the way it's supposed to be pleated. Alrighty, y'all. Skirt number 2 is done. I really do like the inverted pleats. Welt pockets with pleats, maybe not the best idea. It didn't turn out to be as problematic as I thought it would be, but you know, I think if you're gonna put a pocket between pleats, it needs to be smaller than the space that's there. Yeah. Number 2 done. Let's do number 3. All right, we're back for round 3. This is the overlapping or deep, I don't know why I find that so funny, knife pleats. I'm cutting this piece in half, so I should end up with a lot of fabric, which means I should be able to do a lot of pleating. 5 times my waist measurement is 160 inches, and I have exactly 160 inches. Okay, so I'm basically just gonna pleat each section all the way across, throw in some pockets made of just side material, and I guess I'm gonna have to make the waistband out of that as well because I can't afford to cut anything off of this fabric. Yeah, I guess for now let's get pleating. I'm gonna turn on some music because I think I'm gonna be here for a while. That's a lot of pleats. So that is one side done. Look how pretty. I wonder if I could do this without a waistband somehow. I'm having a thought. I might try to do an interesting waistband thing. We'll see if this works. Okay, number 3 is done, and this one admittedly got away from me a little bit. It kind of looks real janky on the inside. I reached a nope point, so I didn't really do all the finishes on the edges, you know, like French seams and stuff like that. However, on the outside, it somehow still looks fine, like completely fine. And I don't really know how that happened, because some real weird stuff went on. It's also really hard to find the pockets because there's so much fabric and they're kind of buried, but there it is. Woo woo woo. It's very floaty and swishy. I definitely love all of those pleats. A big part of what went crazy here was getting a pocket and a zipper on the same side. And as you can see, as soon as I move stuff a little, that just looks like a giant mess. But because there's so much fabric and pleating, when you put it down, it just sort of disappears and it looks fine. So, huzzah magic! One more to go. I am going to be doing the military roll pleats on the final one. But first, I am so hungry. I did not want to stop for lunch until I just finally finish this thing, so now it's quite late. Last one. Come here. Okay. Hello. You gonna be a part of this? The stripes on this fabric are technically running horizontally, but I want them to be vertical, which means I'm going to start from the end and cut sections the length that I want the skirt, and then sew those together. I'm hoping to only do 4 sections, but the fabric is only 45 inches wide, which means that would only give me, oh, I don't know how to do math. That would give me 180. I thought it was 90. It's 180, which I think is plenty. Yeah? What do you think of that? And I have this backup piece to be the waistband and the pockets. Okay, so if I fold it in fourths, then I have about 25 inches. Yeah, sure, why not? I'm so unpicky about skirt length. I never have a specific length in mind, except every once in a while when I specifically want T length. I suppose there's probably like a proper length to look best on your height and body type, and I just can't really be bothered. I'll do a video about it one day. 5 inches, and put a mark at every single inch because I have already forgotten how to do the military rolling. Let's do it. 4 to 6, then 3 to 1. It's literally just that easy. Y'all, I have stabbed myself so many times today. Don't know what it is about pleats. Maybe there's just way more pins in all of my fabric than normal, but my fingers have taken a beating, or rather a pricking. She says as she sees blood on the fabric. Where did you come from? Oh, right there. There it is. The funny thing is a lot of the holes that I make in my skin are so small that they just let out like the tiniest amount of blood and then never bleed again. So I'll just see like a random spot of blood and I can't find where it's come from because it's already not bleeding anymore. Is it really a handmade garment if there's not a spot of blood on it somewhere? This is curving the waistband a lot, so I might actually, if I have enough fabric, cut out like a nice proper curved waistband to go with this, just so that I'm not then forcing those pleats straight again. Because I have a theory, aka something that probably everyone else knows and I just haven't researched yet, that part of how you get a good swooshiness to the hem is the kind of waistband that you put on the top. If you put a curved waistband and you sew it on curved, then maybe that helps the hem kind of stand out and be fuller. Whereas if you do a straight waistband and you've taken the curve and forced it down like this, you're compressing the whole thing together. So then it would make sense that the hem wouldn't naturally stand out as wide. Is this a thing? Somebody who knows, feel free to tell me. But for now, I'll just feel smart for figuring it out by myself. One panel done. Now I just do that 3 more times. Alrighty, skirt number 4 is done, almost. I just have to hem it, but I'm just gonna whip that through tonight, and then all 4 are finished, and I have completed my pleat exploration for now. I think I'm gonna have to do a lot more pleating in the future. Much easier to put in the pockets without a zipper on the side, but also I've put in 3 zippers today and I'm over it. But yeah, I really like the military rolled pleats. I think they look really cute, especially in the stripes. And I tried to do a bit of a V on here. Didn't work super well. I also probably should have put some interfacing in this waistband, but that's all right. Onward! Final product it is. Whoosh. All right, well that was fun. I think rather unsurprisingly, the blue striped skirt with the military roll pleats and this skirt with the deep knife pleats are my 2 favorites. I say unsurprisingly because they're the 2 skirts that are made out of the most fabric. So I think regardless of the pleat styles that I used, they were automatically going to be more swooshy in feeling because there's more fabric involved. Overall, I'm really pleased with all 4 of them. I think the embroidered gray, yellow, white one would look better a little shorter. The length of it, I think, is a little more dumpy, which, you know, I didn't take that into consideration whatsoever when I was making it, so can I be surprised? No! And then I think the first skirt I made with the wide box pleats, first of all, again, don't use curtain fabric. It snags on everything. I have like the lightest amount of snaggable material on my wedding ring that you could possibly have, and it will still snag that fabric. And then of course the puppy was all like, yay, let me claw at you because I want attention, and whoosh, it looks like I ran a cheese grater over it. I also can't say that I recommend doing a wrap skirt pleated. I don't know, it just seems unnecessary. You're pleating fabric and then you're covering it with something else. And then that also ended up being uneven, which I probably could have fixed this with, you know, math and forethought. If I place the pleats evenly on the front of me, then the pockets are uneven. So I would put my hand in this pocket and then completely miss the other one because I'd be too forward. Or if I put my hand in this pocket first, I couldn't find this one because I was too far back. Interesting to find out. Your brain assumes that your pockets are gonna be even, and that's where your hand goes. Fun little discoveries. I'm kind of conflicted now because I still prefer the shape and the flow and the twirl of a circle skirt. I am who I am. But I really enjoyed the process of pleating, the fabric manipulation kind of side of it, even the math a little bit. It was really fun to me to spend time in the project where you weren't cutting it out and you weren't sewing it, you were just pinning things and folding things. I think because it's so easy to fix anything, to redo it another way, I get more nervous when I'm sewing things. You put a stitch on there, you did it wrong, you have to sit there and pick it out, and for some reason I'm terrible at picking out seams. So I just think there's a really fun element to pleating for me in getting to sit there and play around with the fabric before you're putting any thread in it. This is starting to get itchy. This is why I'm picky about sweaters. But yeah, this was a really fun exploration. I feel like I learned a lot, not just about pleats and which ones I like and how to do them. I also learned a bunch of other stuff, like how to make a waistband out of the actual skirt without having to cut a separate piece. That was fun. I also learned how to do welt pockets, which turned out to be super easy, especially compared to all the other pockets that I tried to put in these skirts. That is what I love about doing explorations like this and basically sewing anything. I will set out to learn about one specific thing or just to make a specific garment, and inevitably along the way I reach other challenges and I have to research other things or experiment with other things, and I learn other things. And for someone who loves multitasking to almost a problematic obsessive level, that's my jam, y'all. It's been a blast. See you next week. And now I really gotta go take off this sweater because it is becoming extremely itchy for some unknown reason. Oh yeah! Oh my goodness! No jump?